Work hard in silence, you've heard it before, right? But do you understand what it really means? We live in a world today where everyone is shouting, everyone is showing off, everyone's chasing the spotlight. Social media, fame, recognition, people want the reward without the work. But let me tell you something. The true path to greatness doesn't come with flashing lights. It doesn't come with applause every step of the way. It comes from grinding. It comes from putting in the effort when no one is watching. I want you to think about seeds for a second. You plant a seed in the dirt, and for a long time you see nothing. But underneath the surface, something's happening. The roots are growing deep. The foundation is being built. You water that seed day in and day out, knowing that growth takes time, knowing that it takes patience. That's you. That's your work. Work in the dirt where no one can see you. You see, real success isn't loud. It's not flashy. It's not about talking big. It's about doing big. It's about putting your head down and going after your goals with everything you've got every single day, without the need for validation, without the need for attention. Because the people who make the most noise are usually the ones who aren't doing the work. But the people who are truly building something great, they're too busy working to stop and talk about it. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with celebrating your success, but understand this success is a byproduct of discipline, not noise. You want to make a name for yourself? Make it in your work ethic. Make it in your dedication. Make it in your resilience. And remember, the loudest voices are often the weakest hands. The ones who shout the most aren't the ones carrying the weight. You be the one carrying the weight in silence. In life, much like in nature, the most significant growth happens in the quiet, out of sight, where no one is looking. Consider a seed planted deep in the soil. For days, weeks, sometimes even months, nothing appears on the surface. To the outside world, it seems as though nothing is happening, as if that seed is still dormant. But beneath the earth, a transformation is taking place. Roots are stretching out, strengthening and establishing a foundation. The seed is preparing itself for the moment it will break through the surface and reveal its potential. This is a perfect metaphor for the way true growth occurs in life. Whether you're building a career, developing a skill, or striving to improve yourself, the most crucial work often happens behind closed doors, away from the spotlight. In those quiet moments when no one is watching, when no one is applauding, that's when the real progress is made. It's in the silence, in the solitude, that you lay the groundwork for success. Many people get caught up in seeking validation from others. They want the world to see their hustle, their grind, their ambition. They want to share every step of the journey, hoping for likes, comments, and recognition. But what they don't realize is that the need for constant attention can become a distraction. When you're focused on showcasing your efforts rather than actually putting in the work, you lose sight of the bigger picture. The noise of external approval can drown out the quiet, patient process of real growth. Think about it, some of the greatest achievements in history didn't happen in the spotlight. Innovators, artists, athletes, and leaders often spent years, sometimes decades, working in obscurity before their work was recognized. They honed their craft, made mistakes, learned from them, and kept pushing forward even when no one was paying attention. Their success wasn't built on momentary flashes of fame, but on the steady accumulation of effort and resilience. They understood that growth requires time, patience, and dedication. Working hard in silence means embracing the process. It means understanding that success isn't immediate and that true progress takes time. You don't need to announce every move you make or seek approval for every step of the journey. The satisfaction comes not from external praise, but from knowing that you're building something solid, something that will last. In the silence, you're free to experiment, to fail, to try again without the pressure of an audience. You can focus on the work itself rather than the perception of it. And when the time is right, when you've put in the hours, the world will see the results. You won't need to shout about it. Your success will speak for itself. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Embrace the quiet. Don't chase the spotlight too early. Let your hard work, persistence, and dedication be the driving force. Because the most significant growth happens in the places where no one is looking, and when you finally emerge, your strength and foundation will be undeniable. Success is often misunderstood as something that needs to be loud, visible, and celebrated at every stage. In a world where social media, fame, and recognition are highly sought after, many people believe that making noise is the key to success. They think that if they aren't talking about their efforts, if they aren't broadcasting every move, then their work will go unnoticed and unappreciated. But real success doesn't come from noise, it comes from quiet discipline, persistence, and focus. Discipline is the cornerstone of true success. It's the ability to show up every day, put in the work, and remain dedicated even when no one is watching. It's about following through on your commitments, pushing yourself to do better, and staying focused on your goals no matter how challenging the journey becomes. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fades, when obstacles arise, and when the results you're working towards seem distant or unclear. It's this discipline, not the noise, that determines whether you will reach your full potential. Noise, on the other hand, can be a distraction. When you focus on making noise, seeking attention, validation, or recognition, you shift your focus from the process of working hard to the outcome of being noticed. You begin to prioritize how others perceive your efforts over the quality of your efforts themselves. This can lead to a superficial pursuit of success, one that is more concerned with appearances than substance. Noise can give the illusion of progress, but without the foundation of hard work and discipline, that progress is often fleeting. There is a reason why some of the most successful people in the world are known for their relentless discipline rather than their constant need for attention. They understand that success is a byproduct of the work they put in every day, not of how loudly they talk about it. These individuals focus on the grind, on perfecting their craft, and on consistently improving, knowing that the results will come in due time. They don't need to broadcast every small achievement or seek validation for every step they take. Instead, they trust the process and let the results speak for themselves. By concentrating on discipline rather than noise, you build a strong foundation for long-term success. You become more resilient, more focused, and more capable of handling challenges because your confidence comes from the work you've put in, not from external validation. Discipline teaches you patience, persistence, and the value of effort. It allows you to stay the course even when the road gets tough because you're driven by something deeper than the need for immediate recognition. When success is built on discipline, it lasts. It's not dependent on fleeting moments of fame or applause, but on a solid foundation of hard work, growth, and resilience. Discipline ensures that when you do achieve success, it's real, earned, and sustainable. So while the world may chase noise and recognition, remember that the quiet, consistent work you put in each day is what will ultimately bring you true success. Letting your work ethic speak for itself is a powerful principle. It's a concept that emphasizes the importance of action over words and results over promises. In a world where people often talk about their goals, dreams, and ambitions, it's easy to get caught up in discussions about what you're going to do. But true success comes not from talking, but from doing. When you let your work ethic speak for itself, you allow your actions and accomplishments to do the talking. And that is far more impactful than any words could ever be. Work ethic is the foundation of long-term success. It's about consistently putting in the effort, day in and day out, even when it's difficult, even when no one is watching, and even when there's no immediate reward. It's about showing up, doing the hard work, and staying committed to your goals. Over time, this dedication builds a track record of success, And that track record is what ultimately speaks louder than any self-promotion ever could. People often make the mistake of thinking that talking about their efforts or seeking recognition for their hard work will help them succeed. They want others to see how much they're grinding or how hard they're working, thinking that visibility is the key to success. But in reality, the most successful people are the ones who focus on the work itself, not on gaining attention. They understand that true success is earned through action, not through talking about action. When you focus on your work ethic, you're not concerned with proving yourself to others or seeking external validation. Instead, you're driven by an internal sense of purpose and a desire to achieve your goals. You understand that the only person you need to impress is yourself. And the only way to do that is by putting in the necessary effort. This mindset creates a sense of authenticity and integrity because your achievements are the direct result of your hard work, not because you talked your way into them. Letting your work ethic speak for itself also builds trust and respect. When people see that you consistently deliver results without needing to boast or seek attention, they begin to recognize your reliability and commitment. Your reputation becomes one of quiet excellence, someone who gets the job done and does it well. Over time, this reputation becomes your most valuable asset, opening doors and opportunities that would never have appeared if you were too busy talking about your plans rather than executing them. In contrast, those who rely on talk rather than action often find that their words lose power over time. Promises and declarations may capture attention in the short term, but without the backing of consistent effort, they eventually ring hollow. People begin to see through the noise, recognizing that there's no substance behind the claims. But when you let your work speak for itself, you never have to worry about proving yourself with words. Your actions, results, and achievements do all the talking. In the end, results are what matter most. People remember what you accomplished, not what you said you were going to accomplish. By focusing on your work ethic, you allow your success to be a natural extension of your efforts. You don't need to shout about it or seek validation. The results will speak for themselves, and that is far more powerful than any amount of talking ever could be. You don't need applause to know you're on the right path. This is one of the most liberating truths when it comes to personal growth and success. The desire for external validation is deeply ingrained in many people, but relying on it can become a hindrance. When you understand that the approval of others isn't necessary to gauge your progress, you can focus on what really matters, the internal journey of self-improvement and achieving your goals. Applause, praise, and recognition from others can feel good in the moment, but they are fleeting. If you base your sense of accomplishment on whether others notice your efforts, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. External validation is unpredictable. It may come when you least expect it, or it may never come at all. People's opinions are constantly changing, and what's popular or celebrated today may be forgotten tomorrow. This makes applause a shaky foundation on which to build your sense of self-worth or direction. Instead, success is a deeply personal process. It's not something that can be fully measured by how much attention or approval you receive from others. The real marker of progress lies in how you feel about the work you've put in and the goals you've achieved. When you're driven by an internal compass, you're not swayed by the opinions of others. You stay focused on your goals because they matter to you, not because they'll impress anyone else. This doesn't mean that recognition or praise is inherently bad. It just means that it shouldn't be your primary source of motivation. The most successful and fulfilled individuals are those who derive their sense of purpose from within. They set goals that are meaningful to them and work hard to achieve those goals regardless of whether anyone is watching. They understand that their journey is theirs alone, and they don't need constant applause to validate their efforts. When you free yourself from the need for external approval, you also free yourself from the fear of criticism or judgment. This is a crucial shift. People who are constantly seeking validation tend to be more vulnerable to criticism. They may adjust their actions or ambitions to align with what they think others want from them, rather than staying true to their own values and aspirations. But when your motivation comes from within, you're less concerned with what others think. You trust your process and your vision, and you're able to move forward even in the face of doubt or negativity. Ultimately, success is a long-term game. It's built on sustained effort, resilience, and persistence over time. There will be moments when your work goes unnoticed, when the results don't come as quickly as you'd hoped, and when you feel as though no one is paying attention. In those moments, it's easy to question whether you're on the right path. But if you know that your work is aligned with your values and your goals, then the lack of external recognition doesn't matter. You don't need applause to affirm that you're doing what's right for you. In the end, the most fulfilling successes are the ones you achieve because they mattered to you, not because they earned you praise from others. When you learn to trust yourself in your process, you become unstoppable. You realize that the only validation you truly need is the sense of accomplishment you feel within, knowing that you've stayed true to yourself and your goals. Applause may come or it may not, but the satisfaction of knowing you're on the right path is far more lasting. The phrase, "the loudest voices are often the weakest hands," captures a powerful truth about success and achievement. In many cases, the people who shout the loudest about their plans, efforts, or ambitions are the ones who are doing the least when it comes to actual work. They are focused on making noise, seeking attention, and gaining recognition, but often fail to back up their words with real, meaningful action. On the other hand, those who are truly making progress and building something significant are too busy working to waste time boasting about it. Their energy goes into their efforts, not into talking about what they're going to do. In today's world, where self-promotion and social media play such a big role in people's lives, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that making noise equals progress. Posting about your hustle, sharing your goals, or constantly talking about your grind can give the illusion of hard work. But without the actual dedication and effort to follow through, it's all just noise. There's a difference between wanting to be seen as successful and actually being successful, and that difference lies in the work being done behind the scenes. People who talk too much about their ambitions often expend their energy on convincing others rather than taking the necessary steps to achieve their goals. They get caught up in the appearance of working hard rather than focusing on the real work itself. The loudest voices may attract attention in the short term, but in the long run, attention alone doesn't equate to success. Success is built on consistency, discipline, and results, none of which come from talking alone. In contrast, the people who are truly making an impact often go unnoticed, at least in the early stages. They don't spend time telling everyone what they're doing because they're too focused on actually doing it. These individuals understand that the path to success is paved with effort, discipline, and persistence, not noise. Their hands are busy building something, not pointing to what they're about to build. They embrace the idea of letting their results speak for them. When they finally do achieve something, it's undeniable and doesn't need to be explained or defended with words. Furthermore, the people who work quietly often cultivate a stronger sense of resilience because they aren't seeking external validation or applause. They aren't easily discouraged by criticism or setbacks. Their motivation comes from within, and their focus remains on the work at hand. They don't need to prove anything to anyone except themselves. This internal drive makes them more effective and persistent in the long run, whereas the ones who rely on noise for motivation can quickly lose steam when the applause fades or when they encounter challenges. Ultimately, success is not determined by how loudly you talk about your goals, but by how consistently you work toward them. The loudest voices often fade when faced with real obstacles, while those who work quietly and diligently push through, building something that lasts. True progress requires less talking and more doing. Those who focus on the work, not the noise, are the ones who ultimately achieve their goals and build something meaningful. The world may not notice them right away, but when their results speak, they speak volumes. Success doesn't need to be announced or broadcasted. When you consistently work hard in silence, your achievements will eventually be seen. The idea that your success will eventually be seen reflects the natural outcome of dedication, persistence, and quiet effort. When you focus on putting in the necessary work without seeking attention or validation along the way, the results of your efforts will eventually become evident. Success isn't something that needs to be forced into the spotlight. It will naturally rise to the surface when it is earned through hard work. One of the most important aspects of this concept is patience. Too often, people want instant recognition for their efforts. They want to see immediate results and be rewarded for their work before they've even put in the time necessary to achieve real success. But true success is rarely instantaneous. It takes time and it requires a sustained effort over months or even years. In this process, it's easy to get discouraged when progress isn't immediately visible. But just because the world doesn't see your work right away doesn't mean it's not happening. Working hard in silence allows you to focus entirely on the process without distractions. When you're not worried about who is watching or how others are perceiving your progress, you can put all of your energy into the task at hand. This creates a deeper level of focus and discipline, enabling you to hone your skills and improve consistently. Over time, as you accumulate more experience and your results start to compound, your success will naturally become apparent to others. But by the time they see it, it will be undeniable because it will be built on a solid foundation of hard work. There's a quiet power in this approach. While others might seek attention early on, trying to convince the world of their potential, you're busy turning that potential into reality. The recognition that comes from this type of sustained effort is more meaningful because it's based on real achievements, not on empty promises or premature declarations of success. When people finally notice your accomplishments, they won't be able to question your legitimacy because your work will speak for itself. Moreover, success that is built quietly tends to last longer. When you don't rush to the spotlight, you have time to grow, to learn from your mistakes, and to refine your craft without the pressure of constant scrutiny. This creates a stronger, more resilient version of success, one that is capable of withstanding challenges and setbacks. By the time the world notices your work, it will have already been tested, strengthened, and proven through countless hours of effort behind the scenes. Another advantage of letting your success be seen rather than forcing it into the spotlight is that it builds a reputation based on trust and authenticity. People recognize and respect those who have achieved success through hard work rather than through hype. Your work becomes your best marketing tool, and your results speak louder than any self-promotion ever could. This type of recognition, earned quietly over time, is far more valuable than fleeting attention that comes from making noise early on. Ultimately, when you work hard in silence, you allow success to unfold naturally. You don't need to announce every step of the journey or seek validation for every small achievement. You trust the process, knowing that when the time is right, your work will be seen, and when it is seen, it will stand on its own. Your success will be real, lasting, and undeniable, a true reflection of the effort you've put in.